Today, we're diving into 9 things that every woman has in her mind. 9 little weaknesses. And here's the thing, understanding them isn't just about attraction, it's about control. Control over yourself and the way you navigate relationships. That's what Stoicism teaches. Mastery over emotions, strategy over impulse. So, I'm not just going to list these weaknesses and leave you guessing. I'll break them down so you can actually use them to your advantage. Pay close attention. First up, contrasting personalities. You need to have 2 sides to your personality, not just one. If you're usually a nice guy, you should also have a bit of an unpredictable, mischievous edge. If you're calm and composed, you should know how to switch things up when the moment calls for it. Imagine this. You and a girl are walking down the street, and suddenly, a song starts blasting from a nearby speaker. Out of nowhere, you start dancing, totally unexpected. She'll be caught off guard, thinking, wait, isn't this guy usually the quiet, strong type? Who is he, really? That little moment of confusion, it sticks with her. She keeps thinking about you, trying to figure you out. And guess what? That only makes you more attractive in her eyes. If you've been following my series on how to attract women, you already know that women are drawn to strong men. But here's where most guys mess up. They think they need to act tough all the time. That's a huge mistake. If you're constantly putting on a strong front, she'll start feeling like you're forcing it. The secret? Balance. If you're kind, add a little edge. If you're always composed, surprise her with some spontaneity. The contrast makes you mysterious. And mystery? That's what keeps her thinking about you long after you're gone. Oh, and by the way, I'm dropping a full video soon dedicated entirely to mystery and how to level it up in your personality. But for now, just focus on adding that contrasting side to yourself. Trust me, you'll be surprised at how powerful it is. Now, here's another little trick that works like magic. Talk about someone who looks different from her. This one is simple, but insanely effective. Whenever you're talking to a girl, casually bring up someone who looks completely opposite to her. Let's say she has black hair. Mention a blonde girl. You don't have to make a big deal out of it. Just slip it into the conversation naturally. For example, you could say, I used to work with this blonde girl at XYZ company. She was always super confident. It was kinda impressive. Or you could talk about a famous blonde actress and say, I think she's really talented. Her movies are amazing. Then just move on like it's nothing. The key? Don't make it obvious. Just say it naturally, as if it's just another random part of the conversation. Now let me explain why this works so well. Girls overthink everything. Seriously, it's like their superpower. From the moment they wake up, their minds are constantly running. Imagine she's walking down the street and sees a little kid crying. She'll start wondering, why is he crying? Did something happen to him? Is he lost? What if he has no one to help him? She'll think about that kid for hours, maybe even feel sad for him, even though she only saw him for a few seconds. This is just how girls are. They analyze everything, especially when it comes to emotions and people. And this is exactly why your little comment about the blonde girl will stick in her head. She'll go home that night thinking, why did he mention a blonde girl? Does he like blondes? Am I not his type? Am I not pretty enough? Should I dye my hair blonde? Boom. With just one sentence, you've got her thinking about you non-stop. And the more she thinks about you, the deeper you get into her mind. That's the fastest way to build attraction, making her want to figure you out. So, Remember this. Mention a girl who looks the opposite of her. It's one of the easiest ways to keep her thoughts locked on you. Don't be afraid to call her out. This one's more about you as a man than it is about her. A lot of guys hold back because they're afraid of upsetting a girl. They think if they criticize her, even just a little, she'll get mad or walk away. But that's a huge mistake. For example, let's say a girl is smoking next to you. Most guys would just put up with it, even if they don't like it. They'd be too scared to say, "Hey, don't blow that smoke in my face." They worry it'll seem rude. But here's the truth. Women respect men who aren't afraid to set boundaries. If you confidently tell her to move the smoke away, she might act surprised, but deep down, she'll admire the fact that you stand your ground. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you should go around criticizing everything she does. There's a balance. Your criticism needs to be genuine and well-placed. Let's say she wears an outfit that doesn't suit her. Instead of just nodding and pretending it looks great, be honest. That outfit doesn't really do you justice. Or if she takes a bad picture and asks for your opinion, don't just say, "It looks good." Be real. I've seen better pics of you. Here's why this works. When you criticize her, your compliments become 10 times more valuable. Think about it. If you're always telling her she looks beautiful, after a while, she'll stop caring. It won't feel special anymore. But if you're honest and only compliment her when you truly mean it, she'll crave your approval. It's like this. Imagine someone keeps telling you, "You're so smart, you're so smart, you're so smart." At some point, you'd stop feeling anything about it, right? But if someone who never compliments you suddenly says, "Wow, that was really smart," it hits differently. It actually means something. Why? Because we value what's rare. That's just human nature. By the way, this isn't just a weakness that women have. It's something all humans experience. I'll be making a video soon about this as part of the social skills series. But for now, just keep one thing in mind. Don't be afraid to call her out. Criticism, when done right, lays the foundation that makes your compliments actually matter. All right, that was point 3. Now, let's move on to point 4. But before we move on, I need to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me, what's the most surprising weakness on this list so far? Or better yet, if you've ever noticed a woman reacting exactly like this, type, "Smart men know the game," in the comments. Let's see how many of you are paying attention. And trust me, reading through the comments on this one is gonna be gold. Bring up something she's not good at. If there's something she struggles with, you can use it to your advantage, but in a subtle way. Pay close attention to this. Let's say she casually mentions that she doesn't know how to cook. You don't need to react to it right away. Just remember it. Then, later on, when the moment is right, drop it into the conversation naturally. Something like, "I really admire girls who can cook." Now the key here is how you say it. You're not looking directly at her, waiting for a reaction. You're not saying it in a way that feels targeted. It should just flow as part of whatever you're already talking about. Then, move on. Don't dwell on it. Here's what will happen next. When she's alone later, she'll start thinking about it. She'll wonder if you see her differently because she can't cook. She might even feel like she wants to prove herself. And guess what? The more she thinks about you, the more attached she becomes. Now, let's get into something even more powerful. Share a weakness with her. This is huge, so listen carefully. A lot of guys are afraid of showing weakness because they think it'll make them look bad. But I'm going to tell you something that most people don't realize. If you have a weakness, tell her before she finds out on her own. This is a powerful move, and very few people actually use it. Let me give you an example. Let's say you can't dance. Now, imagine you take a girl to a club, and when you start dancing, she realizes you're terrible at it. If she wasn't expecting it, she'll see it as a flaw. She might even think less of you for it. But what if, before that night, you casually told her, "By the way, I suck at dancing. If we ever go out, don't expect much." Now, when the moment comes, she's not judging you. She's laughing with you. She might even find it charming. Why does this work? Because it shows confidence. When you admit a weakness before she can point it out, you're proving that you don't care about being judged. And that's attractive. At the same time, it triggers something else. Empathy. Women are naturally empathetic. It's wired into them. That's why some guys try to use the pity strategy to get close to a girl. They make themselves seem helpless, hoping she'll feel bad for them. But let's be real, that's a weak move. Even if it works once, it won't last. You don't want her to feel sorry for you. You want her to respect you. That's why I'm telling you, own your flaws, but don't play the victim. Confidence mixed with vulnerability is a powerful combination. Speaking of empathy, there's a little trick I've been meaning to share for a while. If you ever get sick or need something and you're already in a relationship with a girl, ask her to help you out. If you need medicine, casually ask her to grab it for you. Women naturally love taking care of the people they care about, so giving her a chance to do something for you can actually strengthen your bond. Now, when you're around her, don't be afraid to let go of that always in control version of yourself. Just a little. Show a playful, spontaneous side, like a kid who just wants a quick hug or a small, affectionate touch. If she does something cute, respond naturally. Maybe pull her in for a quick, playful embrace. But here's where you need to be careful. This technique isn't something you should use right away, especially on a first date or the first time you talk to her. Give it time. By the second or third interaction, start introducing it gradually. Don't just randomly go in for a hug. It has to feel natural. The key is reading the moment. If the timing feels right, let her see that side of you, the side that reacts to her in a spontaneous way when she does something adorable or wears an outfit that catches your eye. This makes her feel special and wanted in a way that's effortless for you. Plus, it's a great way to make sure you don't get stuck in the dreaded friend zone. By the way, I'm thinking of making a video specifically on avoiding the friend zone as part of the How to Attract Women series. If that's something you're struggling with, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear about your experiences. Now, let's talk about something really important: making her put in effort to attract you. This is key. If you take nothing else from this video, remember this: women value what they have to work for. So how do you make that happen? It's actually pretty simple. Let's say you casually mention that you're into philosophy. At some point later, ask her, "Do you like philosophy?" Now, she has two possible answers: yes or no. If she says yes, that's a sign she's trying to impress you. Women instinctively want to be liked by the people they're interested in. So if she's suddenly into something you like, that's a strong indicator that she's drawn to you. If she says no, don't react. Just let it go and move on. But here's the thing: when she gets home, she's going to start thinking about it. He likes philosophy, and I just told him, I don't. What does he think of me now? Did I lose his interest? That little thought will keep spinning in her mind. And guess what? The more she thinks about you, the more intrigued she becomes. But here's where most guys mess up. If she says no, don't try to convince her otherwise. Don't go on a long rant about how philosophy is amazing, and definitely don't start agreeing with her just to keep the conversation smooth. Just shrug it off or change the subject entirely. The whole idea is to subtly set up a dynamic where she feels like she needs to earn your approval. If she's truly interested in you, she'll start making an effort to align with your interests. And that, my friend, is how you flip the script. Set boundaries with her. By nature, women are drawn to men who take the lead, guys who know how to set the tone and stand their ground. This isn't news to most people, but what is often misunderstood is how to actually apply this in a relationship. The answer is simple. Set clear boundaries. For example, let's say you tell her, I don't like girls who smoke. Then, right in front of you, she pulls out a cigarette and lights it up. What do? Do you sit there and tolerate it? No, you get up and walk away. Immediately. No arguments, no explanations, just action. If she cares about you, she'll think twice before doing it again. Over time, she'll either stop smoking around you or realize you're not someone who bends for disrespect. Or let's say you're planning a trip together. Be upfront. I don't pay for everything. We split the costs, and then stick to that. No exceptions. Now, one question that always comes up is, who should pay for the bill? Should you cover everything, or should you split it? The truth is, there's no universal rule. It depends on you. If you feel like paying, go ahead. If you don't, split it. The key is to do what makes you comfortable, not what society expects or what she thinks is right. Especially in the early stages, when she's not even your girlfriend yet, don't overthink it. Just handle it in a way that feels natural to you. Now, here's another powerful mindset shift. Make her understand that she's not the only woman in your life. At some point, a girl might ask, are you seeing anyone else? Most guys panic and immediately say, no, I'm only talking to you. But that's the wrong move. Instead, try this. Yeah, I have a few candidates I'm considering. Let's see who gets the job. That response does two things. First, it sparks a little jealousy. Second, it triggers her competitive side. She'll start putting in twice the effort to stand out and keep your attention. Women are naturally drawn to men who have options. It signals value. It makes her want to win you over. I've talked about this dynamic a lot in my How to Attract Women series, so if you haven't checked it out yet, I highly recommend watching the full thing. And with that, we're wrapping up today's video. If you got value from this, do me a favor. Hit that like button. It helps more than you think. And if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Join the community, hit that subscribe button, and turn on the notifications so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.